Let's get to some breaking news now, because federal prosecutors in New York say they are not going to be filing criminal charges against Rudy Giuliani, former President Trump's former personal attorney. So check it out. This is the court filing here. It basically says no charges will be coming after this grand jury investigation. Remember, Giuliani's been facing questions for like years about his work in Ukraine before the 2020 election. Investigators had taken his phone, his electronic devices, his stuff last April. Tom Winter is with us now. And Tom, walk us through the significance here, because if I remember correctly, your reporting even several months ago had been that this outcome was going to be the likeliest one.
That's exactly right, Hallie. So this all stems from Giuliani's work in Ukraine and surrounding Ukraine, some of the stuff that led up to the impeachment of former President Trump, the first go-around, the first time he was tried for impeachment, in this idea of an investigation into a natural gas company called Burisma. And at a certain point in time, the current president's son, Hunter Biden, sat on the board of Burisma and was paid by them. And there were all sorts of allegations about corruption involving the natural gas industry in Ukraine, which it is synonymous with. The entire industry has been fraught with allegations of corruption for years, and viewers of this program are familiar with one of the key players in that, Dmitry Firtash, the Ukrainian oligarch who was first interviewed on this program in the spring of this year. In the course of the investigation, they were looking into whether or not Giuliani was working on behalf of a foreign government, some sort of a FARA investigation. We're more familiar with that now. Of course, Giuliani ultimately sitting after requesting to sit with prosecutors for a number of years, waiving his Fifth Amendment right if they just gave him the subject matter. That eventually came to fruition this past February. And in the course of both that interview and their investigation, as you just read, they've determined that at this point, there's no information that will lead to criminal charges in this investigation. So it's over for now. I spoke to Giuliani's attorney, Robert Costello, who said, hey, look, we're thrilled with this outcome. We note that it's unusual for prosecutors to docket something like this, so we appreciate them. It's not a surprise to Robert Costello, his attorney. One other thing, Hallie, you and I have talked about in the past privately, whether or not Giuliani had been paid by former President Trump for his work tied to allegations of in claims, which have so far not been substantiated, of improprieties in the election, the 2020 election. He says that Giuliani has not been paid for that work. So that's another little additional piece of information.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.